Good morning, everybody. It's Brandon coming to you live this morning from my room, from my bedroom, because I wanted to teach you a class that you can do from bed. I think a lot of times we think that yoga or even the experience of just finding ourselves in our bodies, breathing, enjoying the time that we have just on earth, right? The yoga practice of seeking and finding. It has to be done in a way that is always kind of sweat inducing or requires this huge sacrifice of time or your diet or I don't know, like this. It just seems like there are a lot of parameters that we like to put around the yoga practice. And I wanted to show you that you can do your yoga practice or really your practice of meditation, focusing on your breath from anywhere, right? You can do it from bed. You can do it um, really in any circumstance that you can find a deep breath. So feel free to either grab your mat and you can of course do this practice, um, on the floor, or you can hop in bed or stay in bed, right, and just start your breathing, start your practice. Um, and I want to remind you that it is good to move, right? But sometimes, like today, it's also good to be still. So give yourself that room to be still and join me in finding some breaths together. So let me see. I'm going to actually put on my other sock. Let me do with that sock. All right, we'll do mismatch socks today. All right. So first, what I like to do in setting up my space is figure out maybe what kind of music I want. Right. So I'll say, Alexa, play lo-fi hip hop. Alexa, play lo-fi hip hop.
Shuffling songs by Lo-Fi Hip Hop on Amazon Music.
And so in setting up that space,
What's the beat?
you want to have something that just makes you feel comfortable. And I'm going to start just laying down flat on the bed. Right, so in Shavasana or corpse pose, we bring the feet wide and come to laying down. Let the palms be wide, just laying flat. Heels hip distance apart. And we'll take 8 deep breaths here, counting backwards from 8. Trying to feel heavier with each breath. So let's begin. 8. Inhaling through the nose, feeling your chest rise. Exhale, feel heavy, shoulders heavy into the bed. 7. As you exhale, feel the ribs get a little lower. 6. Deep breath in. Exhaling out. 5. Letting yourself feel heavier with these last 4. 3. Starting to notice where you feel movement in the body. In those spaces underneath the skin. Maybe it's the heart moving or the stomach. Maybe the blood moving through the arms and legs. Or the joints, the muscles. In this next breath, notice the space that you feel. Breathe in. And exhale, visualize that space just relaxing a little bit more. Take one more breath in. And breath out. Feeling grounded in the spine, the backs of the arms, the legs. And the breath where you are now. Let's bring the knees up. Feet up. We'll bring knees together and let the feet come apart. Now you can go as deep into this position as you'd like, right? So maybe you want to have the feet very wide apart. That's going to open up your hips a lot. Maybe you'd like to have the feet a little bit closer together and you're just kind of letting this onset of this hip opening happen. I would suggest somewhere in the middle. We'll be here about 8 breaths, just feeling the hip opening in this position, and then we'll do a counter stretch. And so maybe going a little further into this position might not weigh as a good option later. So kind of figure out where you feel comfortable. Move at your own pace, and we'll be here for about 8 to 10 breaths. With feet apart, just waking up the legs a little bit. And feel free while you're here to just kind of, it's your body, right? I think a lot of times we think a lot of it is about leaving it alone. Maybe bring your hands to your legs. See what that feels like. See if you can encourage yourself, even if the feet are further apart, to relax the legs. Or kind of identify and be empathetic in those spaces that are open. We're here for about 5 more breaths. Feeling your breath whenever it gets caught. Deepen it. Breath in. Almost trying to breathe into those spaces that are opening. And exhale out. Take one more breath. Breath in. And exhale out. Good. Let's bring the feet back together. We'll shift both legs over to the right. Your arms can be wide and look over your left shoulder. So we're looking just for small spaces of opening, right? If you do feel like you need a lot more, right, then you probably want to do a movement-based practice, like the practices that you'll find on the rest of this on the page, right? But the idea here is more to let the release take over. So we stay in the pose for longer, about 8 to 10 breaths, so that you can focus on this area right above your left hip and not actively try to stretch it open, right? But just allow yourself to do less in that area. Maybe look over your left shoulder a little more, flatten to the back. Close the eyes over the next 5 breaths. Feel this area right along your hip. That should be opening. If you need to, you can bring the feet up or adjust the legs a little bit. However feels good. Maybe even crossing. But just feel it intensify just a little bit over the next 4. Deep breath in. Full breath out. 3. Just looking for those small moments of discomfort where the body's starting to have to let go, right? It's used to holding tension in that space. And just almost kind of chuckling at it, right? Just kindly breathing in and out and letting that area go. Let it open. Take one more breath. Good, we'll bring your knees back to center. Wrap your arms around your knees. And then shift to the other side. Okay, there it is. And so that's the beauty of this practice as well. With the knees on the other side, you might feel the same stretch, but a very different sensation, right? So feel free. I don't know if I'm placing it as well enough. Feel free to just experience that, right? Each side is different. I think a lot of times we feel like we have to put pressure, or we feel attached to the differences on each side. One side's better than the other. One side's worse. Try to, in this moment especially, while you lay in your bed or on the ground or wherever you are, try not to look for better or worse. Just go for this intentional good. As you breathe in, see what feels good. And that definition will be personal. Right? It doesn't really require movement, or could. Maybe you want to do something. Maybe this isn't it. But see if you can feel within this area that is opening, that place where you feel that, that's strength. As you breathe in, see if lengthening it maybe feels good. As you exhale, see if allowing that tension to release just with the exhale. And for the next 5 breaths, encourage either one of those. Inhale, maybe lengthen. And exhale, settle. Trying to find a balance where you're doing both, but in a way that's your flavor. And you need a little bit more inhale or a little bit more exhale. Totally up to you. For 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. Last breath. It's encouraging yourself to get to the place where you see all the tension you might be holding and trying to do this. And don't try to do anything. Let's come back with the knees. And this time we'll bring bottoms of the feet on the bed, right? And so bottoms of the feet together, knees down, and you're just laying down flat. Now I'm gonna bring my hands, right hand to the center of my chest, and one hand to my belly button, so I can feel my breath as I react to this opening in the hips. Now with this song starting, I like to kind of do things based off of just random. I don't really, sometimes you do 2 minutes exactly. We'll go the length of the song and just see what happens in the hips. Palms on the chest, palms on the stomach, bottoms of the feet. One deep breath in and breath out. Really getting into this nice place of acceptance. Noticing how as the pose stays the same, this internal area begins to develop and opening a story that you can start to feel in either the left or the right side, a little more than the other. Maybe the inside or outside of the leg. There's a muscle, there's something there for me. It's right in my glute, right in the butt, right, that connection to the hip, it's open. For you, it might be your knee, it might be your breath that you're fighting. It might be your thoughts slowing down. As the pose opens up and continues through this song, right? Try not to focus necessarily on those things, but on what's underneath all of that. Right? And even if you don't know what that is, you know that it's doing one thing steadily, breathing in and breathing out, keeping you connected to this moment. So as you hear this story unfold in the hips, or in your mind, or real life around you, right? Come back to that breath. Maybe feeling the breath with the hands on the chest and the stomach, going deep into the navel, connecting you to this physical space where there is opening, right? There is this hip, knee, right? This space that's opening. And then exhale, letting go of your attachment to even this space. 3 more breaths. Kind of enjoying just that in between that you exist in. The inhale, healing the body. The exhale, letting it go. Good, very good. Let's bring the hands underneath us, underneath the lower back. We'll slowly sit up. See where I'm at in time. Doing good. Doing good. We're about 12 minutes in. We should be a little bit up. I kind of want to open your back up a little bit more. So let's do just a small intermission of cat-cow. Right? So in cat-cow, you bring your hands underneath your shoulders, knees on the bed, right? Like this in your tabletop position. As you inhale, lift the belly button, lift the chest, breathe in. As you exhale, tuck the chin round through your back. Inhale, lift up, breathe in. Exhale, tuck the chin round through your back. Keeping in mind and feeling this hip, right? Remember the space that we just opened. You have more access, more knowledge about that space. You can feel it move a little bit better. So as you move here, see if you can use those same muscles to maybe drop the pelvis down, to feel anchored in, lift the chest up, to help you open up a new area, right? So if these hips that you just kind of use, if they can stay still because they're more accessible, maybe you can lift the chest a little higher. Maybe you can round through the back a little more, right? Start to pick up these little tools along the journey, right, and use them, right? We're here for 3 more breaths. So here we're finding the shoulders and the chest. Maybe we can see how the hips and the shoulders and the chest can help us in our next pose. Right? And this is how you can kind of start to develop your own home practice where you're in bed, where it's a little more impromptu. You're just following the path. Right? What do I feel? What needs focus? Right? Maybe shoulders and arms, maybe hips. Take one more breath just like this. Inhaling, lifting the chest up. And exhaling, tucking the chin, rounding through. From here, we'll go back into the hips a little bit more with the child's pose. So you need to bring your knees wide, arms forward, and we'll bring forehead down. Take 8 breaths like this. Bringing your left cheek to the mat for 1, or the bed, for 1. And feeling free to change any type of position that you like. So maybe hands go back, and you're on your stomach, or your chest, excuse me, like this. Maybe hands are forward. Maybe you kind of rest on your arms if that feels like a lot, right? But you're just feeling this lower back, same hip area. Just start to sink down. Here for 2. Let your chest feel heavy. And last breath. 1. Let's inhale. We'll sit up. Bring the feet out in front. Legs straight. Let's cross the right leg over the left and pull our heel in, sitting up tall. Going even more into the hip, just a little bit more before we kind of open up the chest and start to rest for Shavasana. So right hand behind your right leg, or right hip. As you sit up tall, look over the left shoulder, opening up. We're here for 1. 2. 3. Really probably feeling a good opening here. I know I am. Especially because we kind of let that muscle open on its own, and now that we're doing a more active stretch, you can feel a deeper, or at least I can, and I hope you can, feel a deeper place of opening in the leg, in the hip, excuse me, right in here in the glute. Here for 1 more breath. Just trying to identify with that space and feel the kind of the happiness of letting it relax, letting it go, right? Allowing yourself to kind of get out that area that's a little bit tense. And then we come back to the center. Bring right leg out in front. Left leg crosses over. Left heel is in. Sit up tall. And we'll twist. Looking over the left shoulder. Right leg straight. Here for 1. 2. 3. 4. Last breath. 5. Inhale. We'll come back to the center. And last pose on the hips. Both feet together. Legs straight. We'll bring our hands forward and slowly begin to lay the head towards the feet. Head down. So you have a very long opening in the legs here, with the hands just walking forward and the head down. My computer's gonna die, so I'm gonna run and grab the cord, but you stay here, right? Just head down, chest down, letting your breath deepen the pose. So as you inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, just let yourself feel heavier. Be right back. Oh, aha, right here. So let your breath be your main focus. In that you allow for it to tell you how to relax. So as you inhale, yes, we're good. As you inhale, you just go as far as the body will allow, right? Following the length of breath. As you exhale, let yourself feel heavier. Try and do less. So you let your inhale tell you how much you can do. Let the body also kind of tell you how much you can do. And exhale, let yourself do less. Kind of feel that length that you almost earned by following the breath. And enjoy that, but let go of it. Let go of your attachment to it, right? We're here for 3, 2, last breath. Good. Slowly we'll inhale and sit up. Feeling the shoulders and chest maybe opening. I grabbed an extra pillow. I normally don't have this bright pink pillow on my bed, but I grabbed an extra pillow here for my legs. So I'm going to keep my legs in this position, but kind of bring the feet wide and legs together. I'm going to take this pillow and let it be a base for my lower back. And I'm going to take this final one for the head and chest. Bring the chest up. And kind of place this chest one right in the middle so that my shoulders will drape across it. And this is how I'll be taking Shavasana, right? I think that this is a great way to kind of let the legs relax. You kind of get more of that hip opening, but you also get the heart opening with the chest. So we'll come to laying down flat. And you can feel free to, of course, adjust it as you need, but the head should fall back and the chest should be lifted. Just kind of feeling this natural heart opening in this position. And as you settle into your Shavasana, feel free to move your hands anywhere that you like. Maybe hands are placed on the chest and the stomach, or just wide. And we'll settle for the next 2 songs. So each is about 2 minutes, so about 2.5, 4 to 5. Deepen the breath in the nose, filling the lungs up. Deepen the exhale out. Breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Continuing on your own. As you feel those spaces in the stomach, the lower back, the chest, and throat open, notice other spaces you may have forgotten about: the wrists, the palms, the feet. Maybe parts of the legs or the back, hips. Kind of acknowledging their existence, even though they may not be being challenged or open. Keep the breath as the body softens more over the pillow. Allowing yourself to breathe air coming in and out. Start to visualize what you want the rest of your week, your month, your year, life, what do you want that to look like? When your heart is open and the chest is lifted, and imagine your best dream. Just visualizing it, seeing it over the next few breaths. What does it look like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? Feel the joy of all of that. And how imagine yourself doing or being or sitting in or doing whatever it is that you want to do. It looks something like this. Feel the joy of that. Feel that building up. Filling up the chest, almost like your inhale. Expand with that feeling. Feel it. And as you exhale, let go of the thing that is kind of providing that feeling and just keep the feeling. Just letting go, allow for that feeling to stay, to linger. Like you won, you got it. And exhale whatever necessity you think you need to have that feeling. So the need for the car, the need for the job, the need for the position, whatever it is. Take one more deep breath like this. Breath in. Continuing the meditation, we'll bring hands underneath us, slowly come to sitting all the way up. You can move your pillow. Alexa, volume 4. We'll sit with the legs crossed just for a slight meditation. Alexa, off. And we'll sit up tall, just trying to take some moments to feel that unstuckness, right? I know if you saw what I spoke about before and just trying to get people to come to the class, I think in the marketing, it's like, do you feel stuck, right? Do you feel stuck? A lot of times we feel like, especially in the pandemic, when you can't really move, or even in bodies that may feel immobile, you can feel stuck, right? And I think that feeling is a real feeling. A lot of times it might be associated with your physical health. A lot of times it might be associated with just what your body may have been born capable of doing, and what you may, like have to, like the world is not built for your needs. It could come from depression. It could come from empathy, right? A lot of times that feeling of stuckness, like there's nothing that there is to look forward to. These things are bleak or just dull, right? It's not necessarily a choice, but it's a reality if we don't change our thoughts, right? And so I found in those moments when I feel stuck that finding the silver lining comes better when I am still, when I'm not being pushed one way or the other by my thoughts or my emotions, when I'm able to kind of really appreciate the simplicity of this moment. Like it's the moment, it's those times when you look out and you see that one leaf, that one, you know, for me, like the leaf going down the drain. Like you see life happening, and you appreciate, or you see the beauty in nature, or when you're able to slow down and really realize how much you're a part of, how much you're able to kind of be in this moment because you exist, right? You're valuable, and so to remember that for me helps me feel unstuck, helps me, even if it's not the most grandiose unstuckness, right? Helps me get a small smile and do what I need to do for the day. And so I hope that meditation practice, like that has helped me, will help you as well. So I'll show you how to do it. There's a few different ways to do meditation practices. Of course, I would say do some more research on it if you do like it, or you want to try a different way. For me, one thing I struggle with meditation is not getting distracted. I think that's kind of the one of the points of it. Of course, the focus of meditation is just focusing on something with your breath. So like in focusing on specifically your breath, the breath in and out. But that can be boring and hard to do, right, at first. So people will stick with it. One thing I like to do is count and meditate, but also label. And so we'll use the counting as like a subconscious guide. You're so used to counting 1 to 10, and you start over. So it's not something you have to think about this now, right? That'll be just kind of what our track is. That helps us keep track of our breath. The labeling will help you feel better, maybe, about some emotions that you might be having now, right? Or thoughts, right? We have these internal springs of this thought and emotion, and boom, all of a sudden you're thinking this thing that you shouldn't be thinking, or you're feeling this thing that you shouldn't be feeling, right? Or you're forced to feel or think things by the environment that you're in, and that's not helpful, right? And as a human being, you're sensitive, so of course, if the environment brings this onto you, you're going to feel it. If you have some internal pain that you haven't addressed, it's going to come out. And those things are okay. I think that that's one thing that we need to say first. That these thoughts, emotions, feelings are fine. They're fine. As long as they're not acted on in a way that harms you or others, they're pretty natural. And the mind can take you about places. That's Stanley Kubrick, right? But I think being healthy is realizing how you can use these things, quote unquote, to better connect with the life that you have, right? And so labeling them, noticing thought, feeling, doesn't judge them. Like label, I don't mean label like that, but just puts them in a nice, neat little box for you to be able to get back to the art of existing, to focusing on your breath, to getting to that yoga high feeling, like where you're so in the moment that the trees look beautiful, or that the sky is inviting. The inside of your home is a place that you can bring beauty to, right, compared to be trapped. So let's focus on our meditation. It won't be too long. Um, Actually, I like to use I like to use an app to kind of help me meditate. Not that it's necessary, but one that's really good for guided meditations or just setting up a specific meditation. And this isn't an ad; they don't give me any money, but I like them. It's called Insight Timer, and so we'll go for. Let's go today. Let's see if we can go for 5 minutes. We'll put 5 minutes. We'll let you set the timer up. I'll show you here so you can see. But you set up the timer. So I'm going to set meditation to 5 minutes. And then I like to do a nice warm up, right? People don't say that a lot. Do a 20-second warm up. Save. So the ambient sound that we'll listen to is raindrops. I always like nature. But they let you pick from a bunch of different ones. I always like the sound of running water personally. And then the ending bell will be this African bell, and then I also like interval bells. I think um, I think that one thing that's easy to kind of help you stay on track when you're meditating is the interval bell, because even as you go along that path, your thoughts will happen, right? You label thoughts, you label feelings, but you get to think about those things and feel them, and then get back on track. And so the interval bells kind of, if you put 2 or 3 in there, let you know like, oh wait, like I have one more to kind of wait for. You know what I'm saying? They kind of give you a goal, right? And so I like to put maybe 3. That's a little intense. So like a little tap, like a wood block for an interval bell, and then from the start, I'll put a minute and 6 seconds. So it'll repeat every minute. Yeah, they changed it up. That's okay. Yeah, okay, so it's safe. All right, so let's get started. So sit. So I would say if you can sit with your feet flat on something, right? That helps you stay grounded and kind of in the moment and keeps you from falling asleep. Otherwise, because you have moved and the hips are open, you can sit tall and maybe even sit a pillow underneath you, right? I have a little throw pillow, so I'm not sitting on somebody's real pillow. You have a pillow underneath you, so you can sit on that so you feel tall. I'm going to set the timer, and I always like to start. Okay, I always like to start with kind of excuse me. I like to start with my eyes open and mouth open. Sorry. And so let me see. So I'm going to press start on a timer. It's going to be my 20-second warm up. I'm going to sit tall, and kind of I like to feel. You like to feel like you're celebrating the design that you have. So sit like a king or queen, right? Like what? To sit tall, chest up, eyes open. Take a deep breath in through your nose, out of the mouth. Breath in through your nose and out of your mouth. Take one more breath in through your nose. Noticing how the eyes start to focus and get a little quieter, or a little softer. Breath out of the mouth. Last one. In. And as you exhale, let the eyes close. So we'll start that count. Breathing in through your nose. For 1. Breathe out. 2. Breathe in. 3. Breathe out. 4. Maybe already noticing a thought or a feeling popping up like clouds. Inhale. 5. Exhale. 6. When you feel them, or kind of imagine the thought of the feeling floating up, almost like a cloud in the mind. Inhale. 7. Exhale. 8. And just imagine yourself poking the cloud, just letting it dissipate. So you focus back on your breath. Inhale. 9. Exhale. 2. Take the count on your own. Noticing your thoughts or your feelings. And coming back to the breath. Your mind is moving. Be nice. And back to your breath. Nice and easy, starting with your count. Letting the breath fill the body all the way up. Feeling the balance in the spine, ears over the shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Maybe eyes set on the space between the eyebrows. As you feel the chest lift and fall. Feeling the breath come in the nostrils, breath in. And you exhale a little more. Keeping your height, head above the hip. Fill up the lungs. And exhale just a little more. Slowly let the breath deepen. Maybe the fingers and toes start to move. The eyes can slowly open. Take a deep breath in and a full exhale out. I love this app because even when the bell sounds, the music will keep going, I think, for up to an hour. And so you can feel free to kind of stay